Hi, before we begin a series of talks from different kinds of people, should we just step outside and inaugurate the exhibition? Yeah, yeah, I'll tell them to come. I think they're. Please be seated so we can start the inauguration. I see most have joined, so I'll start, and then as people come in, they can take part in this dialogue. So yeah, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us here today. It's wonderful to see all of you gathered here, and we're so happy to be celebrating this wonderful exhibition with all of you. Everyone here almost knows, but for those who don't, today's artist and the person behind this exhibition, also my mother-in-law, Mrs. Karuna Ganapati Bhat, is entirely self-taught. Um, yeah. Is entirely self-taught and has never had any formal training when it comes to the art that she presents today. She simply picked up a paintbrush one day, and over the last 30 years or so, painting has become something she kept coming back to by learning, by experimenting, and slowly finding her own style and voice. These paintings are really just the tip of the iceberg. Anyone who spent time in her home knows that creativity finds its way into almost everything she does. It's there in the textiles she curates and designs, in the ceramics and artwork she's collected over the years, and in the many different crafts she's explored simply because she was curious. The paintings you see here may be the focus of today's exhibition, but they tell only one part of a bigger story. For her, creativity has never been limiting to making art pieces. It's always been a part of how she lives and thinks. A simple lunch note for the family would come with maybe a handwritten message and a personalized illustration. So lucky, all of you. Birthdays and milestones were marked with thoughtful letters and handmade cards. Gifts were never just bought, they were carefully searched for, often from different parts of the country and sometimes also the world, because she had a knack to finding something that felt just right for that person in that moment. I don't think her creativity was ever something she reserved only for a canvas. It found its way into how she celebrated people, it found its way into how she expressed herself, and how she made everyday moments feel just a little bit more special. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the exhibition itself. As you walk around, you will notice that it brings together a wide range of subjects and inspirations. In one section, you will find women in different moments of life. So, working, resting, celebrating, and simply just being. In another, you will find experimenting with different art forms and techniques, from fiber art, glass painting, to even gold work. Elsewhere, you will find paintings inspired by flowers, trees, and the natural world around us, things we often pass by every day without really stopping to notice, but she did. And in another corner, you will see works inspired by mythology, spirituality, and Indian traditions. So it's really just a mix of different kinds of things she herself believes in and has noticed through her life. What I love is that there isn't one single theme running through the pieces that you see here. Instead, it reflects everything that has caught her attention over the past years. The people she's observed, the places she's loved, and the stories she's connected with. Many of these works are inspired by her childhood and her memories of color, people, and everyday moments that she's been through. She paints from observation, memory, and lived experience, and I think that's what makes this collection feel so, so special. Over the next 2 days, I hope you will take your time, walk around, pause in front of the paintings that you really, really love, and enjoy them thoroughly. But I also hope they encourage you to notice something that you see in your own everyday life, a familiar flower, a passing moment, a face, or a place you've seen countless times, but perhaps never really appreciated it as much. This exhibition is a celebration of over 30 years of curiosity, creativity, and quiet dedication. And we're really delighted to finally be able to share everything with you. And this was just a small part of her bigger story that she will, of course, share. But I will now pause, and it is my privilege to invite our chief guest, a man with many, many accolades, Dr. Chiranjiv Singh, former ambassador to UNESCO and also the vice chairman of Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan, to formally inaugurate the exhibition and share a few words with us. Please, if you could.
ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಕರುಣಾಜಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು on a very fine exhibition. You know, so much ugliness is sometimes presented in the name of modern art. At least she has brought beauty before all of us. I mean, ಈಗ ತಾನೇ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, she's a completely self-taught artist, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಶಿಕ್ಷಿತ. And therefore, one should look at it as an expression of her inner aesthetic sense. It's very interesting because in the art history, this kind of art is also categorized as naive art. For example, in America, there's a very celebrated artist. You can check about that in the internet, Grandma Moses. She started painting late in her life when she was very old. That's why she's known as Grandma Moses. You can see her paintings on the internet. But then became a very celebrated artist. She never learned from anyone. So, not Grandma Moses, but we have Amma Karuna here. Then you have, for example, another very celebrated artist whose works are among the greatest modern artworks, Henri Douanier. Uh, that's the French pronunciation, but if you want to see his works on the internet, Henri, Henri, and Douanier, Douanier, Douanier. So you actually he mostly painted botanical subjects. Even in other subjects, he brought in a lot of vegetation. He used to go to the botanical garden and then look at exotic plants and put them in the paintings. I wish one could show some of his work here now, but all these paintings, in fact, remind me of Henri's paintings. And it's remarkable that she has drawn inspiration from not only nature. Most of these are actually drawn from nature, but the family. I mean, these portraits are of her mother, mother-in-law, and others. I mean, these are actually family portraits. And the memories of life. This is a memory of her father's garden. So, and you can see that inspiration is drawn from so many sources. There is a painting, a copy of Tagore's painting. When you see those, they remind you of Jamini Roy's work. There you have Devika Rani, which was painted by Röhrig originally. And you have Ravi Verma's this thing. In fact, it's very interesting that this craft of embroidering the paintings has almost vanished. And there's a monograph written on this by a scholar, because when they studied, when the women were not going to college and all, they used to sit at home and spend their time in various activities, pickle making and all those things. And then this was their means of expressing their aesthetic sense. So I was very happy to see that she has revived that art of embroidering the paintings. And then you see, of course, M.S. Subbalakshmi's portraits, Subbalakshmi the Divine. And that's the one with the long neck is Modigliani's Italian artist's work. So, and various media you can see, these are oil paintings, these are, you see relief work, which is in fiberglass. and this is crayons. So different mediums she has used, and I mean, there's a beauty in all these paintings which catches your eye. So it's a very welcome exhibition, and I hope more people see it and enjoy the work. Uh, Karunaji belongs to a very special community of Karnataka, the Havyaks. She just told me. Now, Havyaks are unique in the sense that they are Brahmins who are agriculturists. And they have their own language, their own cuisine, their own culture. Uh, this comes from a mixture of Sanskrit learning and agricultural lore. So, a combination of this makes this community unique. And they have produced many scholars and some very well-known politicians also. In fact, Chief Minister Ramkrishan Hegde was from their community. So even the contribution of this community in the field of art you can now see, and that's welcome. And now UNESCO divides heritage into two: the tangible heritage, which is built, your Patadakal, Badami, etc. That's the tangible heritage. And intangible heritage. Intangible heritage, for example, the cuisine. Certain styles of cuisine have been declared as intangible heritage. So I would say the Havek culture itself is Karnataka's intangible heritage. And this is something she has, that sensibility she has tried to bring in her paintings, which is welcome. And I only hope that she gets much greater exposure. This exhibition probably is her first exhibition. This is the first exhibition. So I'm sure with this exposure, there will be other exhibitions to follow. I wish her all success. And thank you very much for inviting me to inaugurate this fine exhibition. I really enjoyed it because, as I said, this is this is another genre of art, the naive art. And like Grandma Moses, Karunaji one day will certainly become famous. All the best.
Can I request you to please present him with the bouquet? Thank you so much. And thank you for your really beautiful and kind words. I actually learned a lot about the relation of a lot of the paintings here to different artists that have done this in the past. So thank you so much for sharing. I will. Okay, let's continue. I will now, let's shift the focus now on the artist. I will be calling my brother-in-law, Bharat Krishnamurthy, to talk a little bit about my mother-in-law and her life so far. Over to you, Bharat.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's an immense pleasure for me to be introducing my mother-in-law at her own art show today. Um, there isn't really much I can say besides what's already been written or spoken about by the other people, but I'll just have a few things to add. This is most of my personal experiences. I've been married to Shraddha for 15 years and known my mother-in-law for 15 years. And almost every lunch or dinner invitation to our house is actually uh, is a reason for a mini art show at home. It's either something that she's done, something that she's found, or something that she's bought. And during lunch, we sit through the stories of the things she's bought or painted or made. And it turns out an art class for all of us. Even an unannounced invitation when we are dropping into our house um, we end up meeting either a former Devdasi who she's brought home for lunch, or someone who's a utensils curator from Chettinad, or some other artist from other part of the country. For someone like me who's been uninitiated in art, the last 15 years have been a crash course in the art and cultural history of India, in a way that school textbooks did not teach us. It's been a practical course for all of us. Even for the next generation, my two children, Shauri and Neil, a visit to the grandparents over a weekend ends up in either painting on the canvas or a visit to Pottery Town where they're getting their hands dirty with mud and creating artwork, or sometimes even a long, lengthy discourse on the textiles of India, which I don't think they're terribly excited about. But they have an art teacher that, you couldn't ask for someone better than that. And sir, to your point about intangible culture, intangible heritage of Havyak cuisine, unfortunately, I don't think most of you here will be able to see that, but I wish you do, because that's, you can run a show with that as well, besides just the paintings. Finally, I think they say it takes a village to raise a child. On the contrary, I think artists grow up in solitude and their own learning, but it certainly takes a village to bring an artist to light and to showcase them to the world. And for that, I'd like to thank all of you here for being here today and helping us put the show together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. Now I request you to please join us and share a few words.
ದಕ್ಷಿಣೇಶ್ವರದ ಮಹಾನ್ ಸಂತ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕರಿಸುತ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Chiranjiv Singh, Honorable Chairman of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Mr. Raghavan, Respected Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Mr. H.N. Suresh, distinguished guests, art lovers, friends, and all those gathered here, my heartfelt greetings to all of you. Thank you for taking the time to visit my art exhibition. Your presence means great deal to me. Before I speak about my paintings, I would like to share a little about myself. ಬಾಲ್ಯದಿಂದಲೇ ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಸ್ವಭಾವದವಳು. ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಅದ್ಭುತಗಳೇ ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಆಳವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದವು. ಅರಳಿದ ಒಂದು ಹೂವಿನ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ, ಅದರ ಬಣ್ಣಗಳ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯ, ಹಣ್ಣಿನ ಆಕರ್ಷಕ ಬಣ್ಣಗಳು, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಚಿಗುರಿದ ಹಸಿರೆಲೆಗಳು, ಮೊದಲ ಬಳೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮುವ ಸುವಾಸನೆ, ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಳೆ ಬೀಳುವ ಶಬ್ದದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಒಂದು ಲಯ, ಸಂಗೀತ ಅಡಗಿದೆ ಎಂಬ ಅನುಭವ ನನಗಾಗುತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಎಂದೆಂದಿಗೂ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ತನ್ನತ್ತ ಸೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಲೇ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಕಲಾ ಪಯಣದ ಹಿಂದೆ ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯ ಪಾತ್ರ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಮಹತ್ವದ್ದಾಗಿದೆ. ನನ್ನೊಳಗಿನ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕಲಾಭಿರುಚಿಯ ಬೀಜ ಬಿತ್ತಿದವರು ಅವರು. ಅವರು ನೀಡಿದ ಉತ್ತಮ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದ ಅಮೂಲ್ಯವಾದ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಮದುವೆಯ ನಂತರ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸುಂದರ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾಯಿತು. ನನ್ನ ಪತಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಅಪಾರ ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಮತ್ತು ಗೌರವದಿಂದ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡರು. ಜೊತೆಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ತುಂಬಿದ ಒಂದು ಬದುಕನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಂಡೆವು. ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಚಿತ್ರ, ಬರವಣಿಗೆ, ನನ್ನ ಓದು ಇವೆಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಮೊದಲ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹಕರಾಗಿದ್ದರು. ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ನಾನು ಆಗಾಗ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳಿಂದ ಹೊರ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊಗಳಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಬರೆದು ಕೊಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಬಣ್ಣಗಳ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದವರು ಅವರೇ ಎಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಲವಾರು ಪೇಂಟರ್ಗಳ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು, ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ದೆಹಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ತಂದುಕೊಟ್ಟು ಓದಿನ ಹುಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ನೀರೆರೆದರು. ಆಫೀಸಿಗೆ ದೀಪಾವಳಿ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಲು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹೊಸ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರಿಗಿಷ್ಟವಾದುದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡುವುದೇ ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸವಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವರು ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವರ ಮೆಚ್ಚುಗೆಯ ಮಾತೇ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚಿತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಂದಿಯಾಗುತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಹೀಗೆ ಅವರ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹವೇ ನನ್ನ ಕಲಾ ಪಯಣಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀವ ತುಂಬಿತ್ತು. ಅವರ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ 80-90 ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕೆನಡಾ, ಅಮೆರಿಕ, ಲಂಡನ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೊರದೇಶಕ್ಕೂ ನನ್ನ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಹೋಗಿವೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಅನೇಕ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ನನ್ನ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ನನ್ನ ನೆನಪುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿವೆ. 1.5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಪತಿಯನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡೆ. ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರು. ನೀನು ಸಾಧಿಸುತ್ತೀಯಾ, ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೀಯಾ ಎಂಬ ಅವರ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸವೇ ಇಂದು ನನ್ನ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಷನ್ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಸಂಗಾತಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಿಸುವ ಗೌರವವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ನನ್ನದೇ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್, ನನ್ನದೇ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಇದರೊಳಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಕಾಲ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನೀವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಐ ವುಡ್ like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. H.N. Suresh, Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. When I shared my wish to organize an exhibition, he encouraged me wholeheartedly. So his encouragement gave me the confidence and discipline. I sincerely thank him for believing in me. And also thank you Nagalakshmi K. Rao for being support. 60 ವರ್ಷದ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಭಾರತೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭವನದ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂಭ್ರಮದ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಷನ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವುದು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ ಕೊಡುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಮೈ ಡಾಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಲಾ Aditi has been my greatest support, from designing the invitation card to helping me with every small detail of this exhibition. She stood beside me with the love and dedication. Thank you, my dear Aditi. I would also thank my daughter Shraddha, my son Aditya Bhatta, my son-in-law Bharat, and my grandchildren Shauri and Neil all stood behind me. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹದಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಕಲಾ ಪಯಣವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಲು ಬಯಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಒಂದು ಪುಟ್ಟ ಕರುಣಾ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾಲರಿಯನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿ ಚಿತ್ರಕಲಾರಂಗದ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ವಿಸ್ತರಿಸಬೇಕು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಬೇಕು ಎಂಬುದು ನನ್ನ ಕನಸು. ಆ ಕನಸಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಂಬಲವೇ ನನ್ನ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Thank you so much for sharing. We're really looking forward to seeing everything with all of you together. But before we close, we have her friends and mates from Arvind Ashram who would like to give her a shawl of respect and dedication. So please, if you could.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. We would like to honor our dear Karuna with love and affection.
Hi doctor, what all can you treat at home with?
This is being presented by the Arvind Ashram. I just have one more request. People have many things to say about her, so a friend would like to share some kind words. 1 second before we close. Just one last person to share some personal thoughts on. Okay, two more people, and then we close. Two more.
Good morning, everyone. Shubhodaya. First of all, I want to congratulate from the bottom of my heart from our association, Women's Welfare Association, Vasant Nagar. She is a vice president. Behalf of our all members, committee members, president, we will congratulate. Not only in painting, in other activities also. ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೆಪ್ತಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಅವರು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸುವಂಥ ಕನ್ನಡ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ತಮಿಳು ತೆಲುಗು ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸು, ನೀವು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋಂಥ ಭಾಷೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಆದರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ ಒಂದು ಚೆಲುವು ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಎತ್ತರದ ಒಂದು ನಾಲೆಜನ್ನು ಅವರು ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗನ್ನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆಂದಾಗಿ ಕಲರ್ಫುಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಹತ್ತಿರದ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರು ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ಸನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ನೋಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಎತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳೀಲಿ, ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಅವರು ನೆಚ್ಚಿರುವಂತಹ ಆ ಮಹಾಕಾಳಿ, ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣರು ಮತ್ತು ಶಾರದಾದೇವಿ ಸದಾ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶುಭ ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ.
have Shishidhar sir come and speak about Karuna Bhat.
So, good morning. It's been a privilege for me to say some few words about Karuna Ganapati Bhat, to be more precise, because she's always thinking of her husband all the time. I rarely find a person like her, because the way she's led her life, and she's bloomed. I mean, she was like a flower, which I've been observing since last 2 years. So since I've been acquainted with her from Sri Aurobindo Society, that a person, an individual, ನಾವೇನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಅಂತ, she's totally into that, and every aspect of life she really rejoices, and she has been I feel she's a complete person. So, and her heart itself speaks about it, and Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan giving the opportunity, I think really you've done a wonderful job. I thank Suresh and Chiranjiv. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your kind words and for hearing inspiration from, of course, the chief guest, but also the artist herself as to how she came to be and how all of this came to be. And I hope you're really good friends with her, because then you get to go to her home and see all the rest of the art pieces and textiles and everything that she's curated. But for now, we will close this inauguration and open up the exhibition so you can see all the pieces that have been displayed. My sincere thanks to Mr. Suresh, Mr. Chiranjiv, and my mother-in-law, Mrs. Karuna Bhat, to join us here, and also to all the other speakers who came in and shared their voice. Thank you so much. There's food, there's snack boxes outside, there is tea, coffee, and some chocolates as well. So please feel free to help yourselves. It's on the left side outside the exhibition hall.